All right, so let's talk for a minute, because a lot of people go into partnerships. A lot of times partnerships are born out of convenience.
Right.
Right? Two people in the same room together, same mastermind, same event, whatever the case
There's
may
a
be.
good feeling.
Yeah. Hey, I like this guy, I like this girl, whatever the case may be. They join forces without a lot of thought, right? And so I've had more than my fair share of shit show partnerships that I've had to break down.
We have been partners, unpartners, and then partners
and it
didn't
work.
work.
Shit,
yeah, and
right?
then we unpartnered, and then we partnered again, and now we're great.
Partnered again, right?
Yeah.
So we had to go through a different phase of our life to get there, and so I would love to talk about like some of the horror stories, because most partnerships
You have a few. I have a few.
are doomed.
Yeah.
Right? And so many entrepreneurs go this route, right? They don't, and then we'll talk about at the end basically the way to avoid all this shit. Let's talk about basically, some shit that didn't work out the way you thought it was going to work out. So give me no names. I don't want to hear any names, right? What's a partnership, a situation that didn't work out? I know you've got some horror stories.
I do. Where should we start?
You got several.
I've got a few, bro. Let's talk about ours. To start, I got like 10 of them. But let's start about ours. So, 9 years ago.
And by the way, we just did a tequila tasting.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that episode, go back. We are still drinking. This is the same episode. We're just creating a new episode. We are 11 shots into it.
This actually could be the most truthful podcast we've ever had.
I have no intention of lying, brother.
I mean, I don't lie, period, but I'm going to go and tell you that this one could be a shit show. How did we... So, let's back up. I'm gonna hand it off to you in just a second. So, basically, you were at a place where you were doing some cool shit in marketing. I was at a place where my business was kind of rocking along. I had a disruption in my marketing assets. Some guys that were working for me that I'd helped train and help them develop their own business decided they wanted to kind of move on, and quite frankly, I wasn't happy with them anymore. I asked you to step in all fairness, right? It wasn't like you came to me, I went to you.
Is this the first or second time?
First time. And so then basically you kind of took over some stuff, and then there's a lot of shit that came out of like, oh, let's try this, let's try that, let's go.
Yep.
That's like 2012. That's like 8 years ago.
Yeah, so we were doing your stuff. You and I started a market. It's funny because we do the same thing now, it just works. Which is a great testament to like times and differences, seasons and stuff, and we'll go into it. But we started a marketing company, and it was doing well. It made money. It was just doing okay, right? And it was me, you, Jerry, and the whole thing, right? At the same time, we started a mastermind, which is now the Boardroom Mastermind, which is great. And we weren't together like committed, right? It was like this is a thing you're doing, it's a thing I'm doing. Like we weren't like this is both of our things. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so I did other things, and you did other things. You succeeded in those very well. I succeeded in those very well. We were also very close, and as I think of it, as I remember it, right? Like I felt bad because I knew that I was not bringing people to the table for the mastermind, and it was really heavy on you. And I knew, like, at the end of it, like, it would result in a lack of friendship for you and I.
Yeah, so the mastermind, so from my point of view, the mastermind, we had stumbled upon something that took off.
Yeah.
Like a rocket ship.
Right.
Right?
And immediately we put, like, 50 people into a group.
I was like, oh, my God, this is a real business. We can do this. Most of the people that were coming out of that came from me.
Yeah.
And so the resentment, because it had not been spelled out properly in an operating agreement,
right?
The resentment in me emotionally was raising.
Yeah, and
it was creating tension.
It was, and I felt that tension, but our relationship as friends was already really good. We were close. We weren't like as close as we are now, but we were close, and I knew that, and I had something else that was essentially paying my bills and growing.
Right.
And I was like, hey man, I think I was like, I think I need to get out of here. And not be a part of this because you built it, you set it up. Like I'm just kind of like I'm your homie here, and I don't want to be your homie in that sense.
Right.
Because I knew that would end in a broken partnership and a dead friendship.
For sure.
And I wanted the friendship over the partnership. It's the only time I've ever made that choice, to be frank, right?
Right.
And I was like, I'm out. And you were like, yeah, see ya. And it was cool. It was all good.
Because
we kind of knew.
That's what I wanted to. Right?
Yeah, we kind of knew that was happening, and I was like, all good, man. And
it protected our friendship.
It protected our friendship. We stayed close. Obviously, there was like 2 years where we were like close-ish, not as close. And then we let that time slide. I did my own thing. I came back and I was like, hey, we're still killing. Well, I mean, we talked through the whole time, but I was like, hey, we're killing it. And you were like, well, I'm killing it too. And I was like, all right. And then it was more organic. It didn't come from a place of like, I'd like to do this. I'd like to do this. Let's do this and become friends. We were friends and said, let's do this. And then slowly, I took over your marketing again. And then we were like, hey, we're doing a ton of stuff. We should do more. We started publishing people together. We started doing more together. And then we were like, hey, let's do this. Let's move into this direction. And then I had a lot that I could bring now to the table. I was like, hey, I've got a bunch of businesses. I've got a team. I can support you now, rather than like, hey, what do you want to do?
So from my vantage point, what I was looking at is I felt like the original partnership, where it ended up, not necessarily where it started,
yeah,
but where it ended up was
you pulling the weight.
I'm doing all the fucking heavy lifting here, bro,
yeah,
and you are not. I'm giving you a portion of all this, and you ain't doing your shit.
Yeah, and to be fair, I recognized that.
And so from my standpoint, the reason I decided we should do something again is because, to your point, you had gone through your ups and downs. You were in a different season in your life, in your business, and suddenly we were on much more equal footing.
Right.
Right?
I didn't need anything.
You didn't need anything from me.
I didn't need shit.
From you. And it was like, you got your shit, I got my shit.
Yeah,
right?
it'd be nice too, but it doesn't need to be.
Yeah, I don't need you.
Yeah.
You don't need me. Let's talk.
Yeah, and if it works out, it's cool.
And even better about it was that, hey, we have the chance here that 1 + 1 = 10.
Yeah.
But we don't need to, I mean, we basically don't, to your point, we don't need each other. There's no really hardcore dependencies. I have a working model. You have a working model. It is what it is. But if we can absolutely figure this out, we know it'll be fucking great.
Right.
Right? Like,
and that still took a lot of time.
And we had the time.
And we still took baby steps.
There was no pressure.
Right.
Right? Like, I mean, I don't want to call it out, but to my credit, right, a little bit, I was like, I'm committed to this. Let's just take enough time. I mean, take enough time to do this right. Let's just do what we need to do.
No, you did.
Right? I'm like, let's just, I mean, and this took a year.
Yeah.
Every bit of a year to figure this out, and then it popped.
Yeah.
Right? And so...
And that was a really hard year mentally for me because I didn't want to do this again.
Oh, bro, I can remember many phone calls.
I did not want to do this again.
You were coming back to me like, I don't want to let you down, I don't want to let you down.
I didn't.
And I kept telling you, we're good, let's just keep going. But, you know, you said it earlier, I was in a different place, you were in a different place. We had kind of learned.
Right.
You know, and quite frankly, your resume spoke for itself to where I was more than willing to give it the time it needed. Earlier, when we did it before, I wasn't willing to give the time.
No, I
wasn't prepared because I didn't have the rope to give, quite frankly.
Yeah, and I didn't have...
I had a performing company.
Yeah.
And so to come into it in any way, shape, or form, if you can't do what it
you gotta
is,
be out.
You gotta get the fuck out of the way, right?
Right.
You gotta go.
Yeah.
And, bro, I'm extremely happy with where we are right now.
Oh, I think it's the best we've ever been. I mean, we have multiple
We
companies
have both
together
now. I mean, we have the friendship.
Yeah.
And we have the business.
Yeah.
But then I think what's interesting is, like, you had to go through iterations. I mean, you had a failed business, right? Failed partnership is probably a better way of saying it. You had a partnership
but that lost the business because I gave it to someone and I moved forward.
And you had a few of them that kind of went through it, and I've had a few of them. It's amazing what the scars do for you, right?
They only make you better. I will say
all the time, scars matter.
they matter. I mean, even recently, and I don't know if you know the whole story, but like I had a when we were, I thought the first year I ever hit like my 8-figure year, it was great. Life was good. I had some partners. I don't want to go crazy with the story, but long story short, we all felt differently about things, and it ended up like, hey, someone's gonna have to buy each other, but the team was with me. He was like, well, it kind of makes sense. No one's gonna work with us if we buy this company. You're gonna have to buy us out. So I bought him out for almost $1 million, and I'm still paying it off. This year I'm done with it, but it cost a lot of money to do so, and I took a hit. The team took a hit, and I had to tell the team, I was like, hey guys, like I'm gonna have to do this. If you guys want to stay on, it'll show your true colors. I believe that I can double this business within 2 years again. I believed him. At that point, I was like, F the noise. Like, I know who I am. I know what I've done. I can build this. No worries. Just give me the time. It's a big payout, and so this plus what we're achieving and getting, mathematically, this ends up here, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to be a part of something,
you'll get there.
This is where you are, but like mathematically as well. I'm a big math person also. I know we just talked to Dan Fleischman in another episode. If you guys want to listen, math is a big thing for him. I think math is a big thing for every entrepreneur.
I mean,
it's all I care about.
Ask Justin Colby how many times I say this. It's just math.
That's all I say.
It is literally.
I don't care about anything.
I say 3 words.
Rosen, come here.
I say 3 words to Justin all the time. It's just math.
Yeah.
If you will just boil it down to its essence.
How many times, he's not going to come in the shot. How many times do I say it's just math?
Like a lot, daily.
Daily, bro.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all anything is.
If you understand
math, basic math, pretty basic math.
I invest X, I get Y over a certain period of time. I can do
I got it, and I can see how I can grow.
Right.
But yeah, back to the story. I asked them, and a lot of people took L's. They had big years, and they were like, "All right, I got you. Like, we'll believe in it." And the next year was a significantly good year. It wasn't the year that it was prior. The next year after that was a better year, and this year we're back on track to hit our strides.
But even in then,
but now it's all me.
I know, but even in that, you took another hit last year. I can remember being at the 100 million mastermind where basically 50% of your staff you let them go.
Well, that wasn't a hit. That was a very beautiful time.
Got it, but my point is that's the way you view it because you're an entrepreneur and you see things the correct way.
I will tell you, when Magic Johnson, you and Cody Sperber were all talking about hiring and firing people, and everyone was in this thing, and Magic Johnson said, "Winners win, Los." Like, that's what winners do. And I saw, like, well, half my office is winners. Half my office won't be winners if we pull them up. And I told you, I was like, Kent, I'm coming back and I'm letting people go. And I did it. That was a hard month. After that month, we have not made anything less than 25% increases in our companies.
Yeah.
And it's not slowing down.
Right.
And it's not, like, we're not actively hiring 15, 20 more people. Like, we've just built better. I hired an operations girl who I give really good credit to. Amber Morningstar, if you guys ever want to reach out to her, I'll actually put her stuff here. She's amazing. She's helped us out a ton. But other than that, like, 1 or 2 media buyers, a few systematic people here and there. But, like, we've now built more businesses that are also growing into, by the end of the year, 7-figure run rate companies. And, dude, like, it's the same staff. It's just us. Because systems, the people, the process, the passion, it's all there. And I think, like, for me, like, I think I'm good at building, like, decent, $1 to $5 million brands, but, like, culture and, like,
totally.
one thing inside of it. I think that's what I'm good at.
That's
and
exactly
I can continue to stay good at that. I don't need to do... I also know my role. Like, I'm not running around being like, I can build multiple 8-figure businesses and this and that. That's not my thing. I'd probably rather start another thing and get it to like 2 or 3, and another one and get it to 2 or 3.
I'm great at starting a business and getting it to $5 to $20 million.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I've had my $1.8 billion business.
Yeah.
It's happened, and I've had several 20, 30, 40, 50 million dollar, $100 million companies. But this is what I'm good at.
For my season of where I'm at today, I feel very comfortable at a 1 to 5. No worries. Can I go higher? Like, I've done it multiple times now. I've got 3 that I've done.
But I think that's
today.
key, because if you think about it, if you know that about yourself, then when you enter,
Then I know where I'm at.
Then you enter into a partnership. You enter, like, back to what we were originally talking about. Partnerships are super, super tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Like I tell people all the time, get divorced before you get married.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, how the fuck do I get out of this?
Yeah. And I had a partnership model 2 years ago where I would partner with an influencer, build the company, and give them a rip. And that was not a good model moving forward because of just how they think of business and how I think of business. I thought that if I do this enough times, I could build a roll-up and have a bunch of the same kind of brands, email list, all these assets, and then sell it to someone. And these guys just want to get money every month and month and month, which is okay. I don't think you shouldn't make money as an entrepreneur, but in that business capacity, e-commerce companies, I call them like savings accounts. If you're doing digital software, you can take a little bit more off the top. When you're doing e-commerce, I think it's all about selling a company. It's not about like every month trying to take as much as you can.
Yeah, it's about building a brand.
It's about building a brand and selling an asset.
Right.
Right? And they were like, no, it's about just taking money. And I was like, bro, we're so not eye to eye here.
Right.
Like, this is not going to work because we're going to cap it. We're not going to be able to
So what are the
have
big
assets.
things, if somebody's listening to this, what are the big things that we would take away? So if you're going into a partnership,
fight before you even start it. Like, be intense and say something like, hey man, my intention with this company is to do XYZ, and my intention with you is for you to help me and you do XYZ. If you're uncomfortable with that, let's do a 3-month run, then let's talk about it again in 6 months, and if that works out, let's LLC
there's
this.
plenty of ways to organically enter into agreements without actually getting.
You can also start joint ventures prior to doing
100%.
full LLCs.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone should start. People don't understand the annoyingness it is to actually own companies with people and the taxing and all this other stuff. It's easier to say, hey, I've got X, you've got Y. Let's write a joint venture contract. Get this to 100 or a quarter. And once it's there, let's discuss if we should make this a full partnership.
100%.
Everyone just wants to start. Let's go.
Well, because they don't know any better.
But it also shows like, I don't want to say like veteranness, or like seasoned out, like you're more seasoned. If you jump into me, you're like, let's start a business. I'm like, I don't want to start a business with you.
Right.
But I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to do this, and this is how it's going to run for the first year. If you want to do that, I'll do that with you.
Right.
But I'm not going to start a company.
Right.
That's crazy.
Right.
I don't want to do that.
Right.
Like I would do it with you. I mean, we do it now. But and that's 10 years.
It's
right?
literally like trying to get married on the first date.
I'm not going to do it.
Right.
And I've done it. And I've gotten divorced, and I'm good, man. Like,
yeah,
I'm not going to do that again.
In business.
Right. No, I'm married, never going to get divorced. Love you, babe. But yeah, I mean, I learned it though, and now when people come and they're like, oh, but I want to do this, or I got an idea, or you're at a mastermind, or they're drinking, and they're like, oh, we should do this. I'm like, we should, but this is how it should be structured.
Right.
And I'll write a contract, and I'll have it sent to you, and you agree, and we have a terms of agreement, and then we'll revisit, and then by the end of the year, we can connect together in person again and revisit one more time.
100%.
But that's we're not jumping. I'm not jumping in bed.
Imagine walking up to somebody at a bar and basically being like, "Let's get married."
Yeah.
What are the chances of that working out?
Breaking up an LLC is like getting an STD. It is that painful. It is a pain in the ass. Assets, everything you had, all these things. You know it's true though.
Unbelievable.
Because I said STD. Everyone can relate. The young stunners. The young stunners in the young queens can relate.
You are fucking moron.
Listen, I've had 11 shots of alcohol.
That's actually true.
Don't you sass me.
Actually, 12.
12. Yeah, I'm sipping. What are you doing? Come on, we're having a good time.
This is number 10.
And two more. You just took it to the face. Respect. But I'll tell you what I love. I love where we are, because it's taken 10 years. But
here's the difference. I'll tell you why that happens, right? And I'm not taking anything away from you, right,
okay,
at all, because I love you like a brother. I do anything for you. You're like not only my best friend, you're literally like a brother. I play the long game. I learned a long time ago, right? I got many years on you in this.
Yeah.
But I learned a long time ago to play the long game. Most people play the short game. Mm-hmm. And so I'm extremely contrarian. And I love it. like, as you know, I'm allergic to mediocrity. I don't, when I understand what other people will do, like the masses, I'm definitely going to do the other thing. That's just my nature.
Yeah.
Right? And so I know most of the clowns on Instagram and Facebook and whatever that are posting the pictures of the jets and I will play the long game. I will sit there and nurture a relationship for years before I will ask for anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at my relationships with, people like yourself or Dan or Ed Milet or I don't want anything from them. In the end, we will figure out what it looks like is what it looks like. And I'm more than willing to just sit and wait.
Yeah.
And so I think that with us going into this and having that perspective, like, man, this is, let's be candid. The way our friendship started was super crazy.
Because I called it out.
Because you came up to me at a mastermind and said, hey, I'm going to be your friend. I'm going to be your
I
best
said
friend.
your best friend.
I'm going to be your best friend, right? Okay, so, and I was like, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen,
You
right?
said, fuck no. You said verbally, fuck no.
And so the simple fact that has taken place, and, here we are 10, 12 years later.
Would it be safe to call me Lostradamus? That would make sense. Because
I can't deny it.
Can I say two things? I've only done this twice. I told my wife I was going to marry her, and I told you we were going to be best friends. I am married to my wife. He's my best friend.
I can't
Boom.
deny it.
Your boy!
I can't deny
Let's
it.
go!
I can't deny either one.
Lostradamus, LLC.
Lostradamus. The point being is that, if something's right, you got to just be patient enough to let it marinate and happen. Right? There's no nobility in rushing into something and trying to figure it out.
We have friends who do that to us now.
100%.
Yeah.
And I get offers every month.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to give you my business. I want to do this. I want to give you 50%. I'm like, no. I
don't want this trouble.
And all of it would be money making for me. But I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, there's not a fucking chance I'm bringing a headache into my world. Right? Be willing to play the long game. And if you are, I promise you, it seems crazy. It doesn't feel anywhere near as good short term, but in the long run, man.
If I can caveat that, though, I think you do have to be in a certain position financially, emotionally, and logically to do that. I think that some people that are listening to this are more in a beginner stage. You should take opportunities. I think once you hit places...
But you should take opportunities and don't get together.
Right.
Just slow play them a different way.
Yeah.
Like, let's dance.
Yeah.
Let's hang out.
Yes.
Let's do a little bit of dancing together, and then let's figure out 6 months, a year from now, whether we're a good fit.
Yeah.
Right?
I think you and I...
What most people do is like, hey, I just met you, you just met me, hey, let's
do it.
Let's do it. Hey, let's get
That's
in bed.
a bad idea.
That's a horrible
That is a
idea.
recipe for a hell no.
100% that's going to end
That's
up
a
in
strong divorce.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because
1 out of 99. That one won't last 7 years.
The seasons change in life, circumstances change, shit goes south, whatever happens, that impacts a business. And when it does, if you're not prepared for it, you are fucked. So
Baby bears. I'm gonna go baby bears, and that wasn't baby bears.
All right, that's all.
I'm gonna baby bears you.
Are we gonna baby bears and toast on the way out?
Listen, yeah, guys. Thank you guys for listening, bro. Thank you for 10 years. Here's to another 10.
Love you,
I
bro.
love you, bro. Thank you guys
Peace.
for listening. We'll see you. We're gonna go to sleep.